take this goo as your wonderful wife. I goo. I pronounce you goose. Do you guys hear that? Wedding bells. I'm Mad along with Goose here. Today we're going to talk about Dragon Quest V and the wedding units. Stay tuned. Alright, so the first of the three brides is Bianca. All three of them are obviously going to be heroes. This one is a physical. Her leadership is a bit specific to her, but increases sap attribute physical power by 20%. Of the leaders, I think hers is one of the least quote-quote useful, but is very, very good for her. Her first skill is actually very unique and very powerful, especially for her. B-Quilt, which is basically a giant power-up. It greatly increases the attack power and the skill power of a unit. So it increases the skill basically by 2. So if she cannot reach a unit or anything, she can really power herself up for the next 2 attacks. And it's not that expensive at 24 MP. It can include her or other people. So if you want to power up another unit, say like a Sorrow, etc., it's a great skill. It's not as quote-quote powerful as some of the others because it's not a very large AoE, but it's probably the most powerful skill that we have for one unit because it also boosts the power of skills. Her second skill, Gale and Thunder, is actually a very, very powerful skill and probably her most powerful skill. It's 240% zap physical damage in AoE, a range of 2, and occasionally will seal spells. So this is great to counter mage units and does a large damage AoE. So she kind of acts like a mage unit too, with the ability to do an AoE skill. Her third skill, Lightning Strike, has range and can inflict 94 zap physical damage 3 times. So it is almost 300%. Generally, it does a little bit more damage, but it just doesn't have the AoE of Gale and Thunder. And because it separates damage 3 times, in Arena, that 30% really lowers it down a bit more. So, you get a little bit more damage, but not quite as much, and you don't get a chance to seal spells. But if you do get her to 3rd and 5th, then that skill really becomes even more powerful. So it's one of those. It kind of depends on your setup and skill with her, which one of the two is truly more powerful. But I do really like her second skill, Gale and Thunder. For her first dupe, it is movement +1. This is one of the reasons why I think she becomes really powerful, but you do need that first skill up in order to really maximize her all the way through. Frizz resistance for the second dupe, Crackle for the 4th, and Lightning and Sky Strike power for the 3rd and 5th. Because remember, she's a hero, so she does learn a hero skill. Her level 100 stats are, quite frankly, insane. 825 HP, 346 defense. So she is very tanky, not quite tank level, but will not die very easy. Remember, she does have AoE as well, so this is really, really fantastic for her. Her agility is awesome at 416. MP is 330, and just looking through this, her highest skill is 67, except for her final skill. And honestly, she has a lot of MP for her skills needed, so she won't run out of MP very quickly at all. And her attack is very high at 465, and she can get that movement 3. Probably her biggest negative is that she is a hero, so her weight is 65. Preferred weapon, and all 3 of these weapons are actually going to be farmable in the DQ5 event, which I will post a link down below, which I do have already covered. We have Yoisaken, it's an HP plus 36, attack plus 11, zap physical potency plus 4%. This is the easiest one to farm. You just do chapter 1, episode 4. Obviously, the higher level, harder levels, the better you'll get. Skills to look for: Sky Blow power, zap physical potency, and attack. No surprises here. This weapon was literally built for her. Her hero skill has no attribute, range of 2, MP consumption of 60. It is a very odd skill, and this is castable on 3, but it inflicts 420% power on the question marker boss units and 350% physical damage on all other types of units. So this is really designed to be used for EX battles. She is an EX battle power, so I would say, you know, a very, very, very good skill overall. Pros, cons, pull. Her buff is very useful. She can't deal damage in a round. I do think it is top notch. Very good all around stats except for wisdom. You do need a dupe, but that +1 movement is key for her. It could be a pro or a con depending on how you look. Her ultimate is very powerful for EX boss fights. Con is she is zap and non-elemental, and as a hero can't learn new skills. And she does have a counterattack, but it's okay. The power's a bit lacking. Once again, though, you could also give that as a pro. If she gets hit, she can attack. Basically, if it's melee range, she can counterattack. Will I pull? This is the most likely the unit I want most. Her ability to buff other units and herself with the damage she has is great, but she's not a pure buffer like Juliante, so that's not her main. It just allows her to do something else in case she can't reach anyone, and she does a large amount of damage. The reason that I say the unit I want most is the next unit, and depending on how my luck is, I will roll either way. Alright, the next unit is Deborah. This is her leadership effect is a increased physical damage by 10%. This is by far the most powerful leadership, I think, of the 3. By what I would say most useful. And it can be used for pretty much any physical team overall, so she is a very useful leader. Maybe not the highest leader in the game right now in Japan, but she is still ranked very, very high. Just because if you're bringing a physical damage team, she's the one for you. As a hero and a physical attack, she is the one that is most focused on her main skills on attacking. The first one is sizz here with 160% sizz physical damage in the AoE. It's a straight line. Very simple 3 attack. Her second one, Tiger Claw, inflicts 96% physical damage 3 times. Not a huge fan of this one, but it is her non-elemental skill, so if the unit is strong against sizz, you will be using this one. The last one is the Gorgeous Dance Fight, which is an AoE all around her, inflicts 280% sizz physical damage in AoE. More powerful attack than some of the other units for her AoE around, and you'll see her stats that she can take a beating as well, so it's not something that you'll be as afraid of to bring her forward. Just like Bianca, her first dupe gives her move +1. It's very important to get them both to move +1. It really opens them up. +1 move is absolutely huge. Um, she has the range as Bianca with the continued, but it just doesn't have the power as her Gale and Thunder. That's why I rank, for me, Bianca #1, Deborah a close second. But she has a skill that amplifies her own sizz damage, so she does do just a little bit more physical damage overall. Second and dupe is the first resistance. Fourth dupe is Sam. The third is 5% power for Gorgeous Dance and -10 NP for Kachuri mode. Basically, she has a very unique skill that I'll talk about a little bit. And same for the fifth one as well. So her level 100 stats, her HP and defense are absolutely insane. She is a very physical unit, but she can act as a tank. The only reason she isn't a tank is she doesn't have damage mitigation like the tanks do. But she can definitely take some hits and keep on ticking. Her HP is 951, defense 348, and her attack is incredible at 477 as well. She's not as fast as Bianca, but she's still plenty fast at 392. Wisdom is 221, which is low, but don't really care. MP is 292, and you can see here, we're not looking at, it's the same with Bianca, enough MP to last for a while, which is all that you ask for. Movement 3, and once again, hero 65. Her preferred weapon is Shining Nails. Dragon Quest V, Chapter 2-4 this time. Agility +17 and Attack +11. I really do like this weapon on her. Gives her additional agility and attack, the two things that you are most interested in. As I say, if you include the weapon and her secondary, what I'll call skill, she definitely has the most damage potential. But I do like the ability to seal spells as well. From Bianca. So these two are very, very good, just depending on what you're looking for. Skills to look for in Alchemy is Gorgeous Dance Fighting Power, sizz Physical Potency, and Attack. And these nails also give 4% sizz Physical Potency. This is a well-designed weapon for Deborah. Obviously, no complaints here. Now her hero skill, which is castable on turn 2. It's only for herself, 48 MP. She can greatly recover her own HP and increase the attack and power and the attack power while reducing damage received to her for 40% for one full turn. So she can act as an emergency tank for one turn if needed and to heal herself back up. This is one of those where, either you're planning on using it for an EX battle or an arena, you know that you're not going to be able to defeat it in turn 2, and you need to use this to make sure that she survives, and you're okay with going on to turn 3. From our hero skill, this is the oddest of the 3, as it doesn't do very much damage, but acts as a huge break. And in all honesty, this skill you're going to want to use on turn 2 or beyond anyway, so it doesn't really matter that it is unlockable turn 2. Most likely you're not using this on turn 1. And if you are, or need to use this on turn 1, and if you are, you're probably in deep trouble anyways. So it is useful, but it is a little disappointing as well. Pros: Gorgeous Lady increases sizz power by 10% and her crit rate by 5%. This is her passive, so she gains an additional 10% for her, and she is almost as powerful as Elena with the crit rate. Elena has the same crit rate at 5%, but the major difference here is that her weapon doesn't increase crit rate, so she is not crit-centric overall. Her special move can be huge in doing a reversal in case the battle's turning a little south, but it just doesn't last long. And great stats with along with the +1 movement with a dupe. Her cons only has sizz and non-elemental attack, and as a hero she can't learn new skills, so she is locked into those two elements. And once again, her special skill doesn't do damage, but it is a very good panic heal. Some of these cons really aren't horrible cons, I'm going to be honest, but I would say these are the weaknesses that I'm seeing with these units. Well, I pull. This is the other unit, so it kind of depends on how my gacha luck is. I am leaning a little bit more towards Bianca. Deborah, though, is the powerhouse of the two. Bianca just fits a little bit better in what I need for my team. But Deborah is a very, very, very powerful physical unit. Highly suggested. If you're looking for just pure physical damage, I'm kind of looking for something to try and stop mages if I need to. But the one thing that you can also argue with is that with Bianca or with Deborah, if you can get a hand on these mages, you're most likely going to kill them anyways. So, honestly, I'm like 55% Bianca, 45% Deborah. So, when I do my polls and then I get to select the unit that I'm going to, it will be mostly based on that. So, we'll have to see. The last unit here is Nera, was Flora in Japan. She is a mage hero of the three, so that we have two physical and one mage. If you're looking for a mage, obviously Nera's going to be your girl. Her leadership effect here is increases bang power by 20%. So spell power, I should say. Make sure I say spell power. We do have, and what's interesting is if I was willing to double down on mages, and I want to build up a little bit more physical for my teams here right now. She would fit perfectly because I have Archdemon at 5 hearts, and I also have Baramos, and so for Bang spell power, her leadership effect would actually really fit well with a Bang spell power team, and she does fit nicely. Obviously, you can tell from the first two that I'm not as interested in Nera, but I will be very happy if I do get her. So her first skill is actually very interesting. It is Great Heal, so greatly recovers the HP of one unit. Second skill is Doe Storm. Inflicts very large swoosh damage in AoE. Basically just think of as a swoosh like a White King, but also can sleep units as well. And her last skill is Tenma Collapse. It's basically a Bang version of Dragon Lord's final skill, where it randomly inflicts 4 times Bang spell damage to all enemies in AoE. It is a little frustrating that it's random, but it is a very powerful cumulative damage effect, especially with their Bang spell power leadership by 20%. It is very, very powerful. Basically, though, just think of Dragon Lord. A lot of people prefer Frizzle over his large skill over there, just because it doesn't do as much overall damage, but it will get you over that 999 cap. This Tenma Collapse will net over 999, but won't give you that in a single hit. So her first dupe is spell damage up and MP down. So her skills are very MP intensive. If you level them up, they will go down. Like the Doe Storm will go down to the 90s. Tenma Collapse will be in the upper 80s. and then if you get the dupe, it will go even down farther when you start using them. It's a very useful skill. The least sexy of the three because movement +1 is just so powerful, but for her it's actually needed. Second one is first resistance up 25, fourth dupe is whoosh, and the third and fifth is Bakurutsu and Big Bang Power, or here Tenma Collapse, power up 5% apiece. Her stats for a mage, she is an absolute beefy mage, 791 HP, 325 defense. Basically, even Baramos doesn't have as much heft as Nera, and Baramos is kind of a weird hybrid unit. Her MP is huge at 457, which is unfortunately really needed with her skills. In order to use Nera very effectively, you do have to invest in her to lower those MP as well. Her attack is, like Baramos, is actually pretty high, 278 for a mage unit, so if she runs out of magic, she can do some damage with an auto attack. Her agility is fine at 297. It is not fantastic, but she's not slow either. Her wisdom actually feels a little low compared to the attack power of the other two, but it's still obviously very high at 382. I was kind of hoping for 400, but it doesn't quite reach there. You can reach it with her weapon. Her movement is locked at 2, and her weight is 65. Tatiana Walking Stick is her weapon that is custom built for her. Dragon Quest V event, Chapter 3, Episode 4. Has bang spell potency +4% and wisdom +22. So if you get Nera all the way up there and equip this, you're right into the 400s for wisdom, and she pops. But kind of wish it was a little higher. Skills look for alchemy, no surprises here. Big bang power, bang spell potency, and wisdom. Her hero skill, which is castable on turn 4, is really just a huge big bang. It's a 3x3 square with a range of 3 and an MP consumption of 137. It drains a lot of MP, but it does an insane amount of spell damage to all enemies in AoE. So if you are in a battle that's in turn 4, this is and if they are weak to bang, this is an instant kill type situation here. This is a very easy way to get well above over 1,000 damage as long as they're not strong against bang. Very, very powerful hero skill, but you do have to wait till turn 4 to be able to cast it. Pros, cons, pull. So her pro, she has 2 different types of elements for spells, which does an awful lot of damage and can occasionally sleep as well with her swoosh skill. It is a very nice skill set, especially for a hero that can't learn anything. She also can do a heal and makes her a dual threat. She can keep units alive. She can kill you. She is kind of scary, honestly, especially if you're facing a very powerful form of her in arena. You do have to kill her just because she has got such a very large range of healing and damage capability. And it's hard to kill her because she is very bulky as a mage unit. And her skill is that she gets recovery guaranteed for MP on turns 3 and 5. So she does get a little bit extra of a boost for her MP, allowing you to basically go all out for about 5 turns, and then she completely runs out of gas. Cons, Big Bang does a lot of damage, but it requires you to wait until 4. And her third skill is a random 4 attacks. And with her leadership, it's very annoying that it's random because that's her only skill that she has for bang. So if you're looking for high single numbers, especially with her leadership effect to increase it, she's not the unit, but she does do an awful lot of damage. As I say, the randomness is a bit annoying as well. If you're really hoping to kill 1 unit and there's 2 or 3 units within her range, you're at the mercy of RNG, which obviously isn't always the greatest thing. And I've already kind of hinted at this. Am I going to be going for her specifically? No. I'm just going to be using tickets for her. I just don't need another mage right now. But if I do get her, she is going to be my bank spell team leader. She is incredibly strong. So if you are looking for a mage, I do highly suggest for her in this banner. Uh, as I say, she is a very powerful mage unit. It's just I'm not looking for a mage unit right now. So I also did state this before in the previous review, but you can select one of the 3 brides at the end as long as you go through and get the water ring. Basically, it's the ring for marriage, and you get to choose which one you want. As I said, I'm not sure which one of these 2 girls I'm going to choose, but which one of them are you planning on choosing? Comment down below. Please like and subscribe. You can also watch me live on twitch.tv/Madgarou, and I've got Patreon as well, Madgarou. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Good luck. And you know what, guys? I will see you later. Bye, everyone.